And welcome back to the Amazon European Masters. I'm still Viperoon, still joined by Troubleinc as we're moving towards our 5th game of the day. And Georgia, right, this game, Corp coming up against Macko. What are we expecting here?
So last time these two teams played, it was Bushy's Kalista that absolutely smurfed in the bot lane together with a Maokai. That was absolutely nuts, but their Jace in the top lane suffered so much versus Cabochard. I remember Cabo was like full build, full 6 items when the Jace had 3, maybe 3.5, so like top lane was completely out of control for the side of Karmine Corp, and that Aurelia from Cabochard snowballed out of control. Now, of course, we have 2 teams that I feel like to play through different points of pressure. I feel like a lot of attention is going to Bushy down the bot lane from the side of Macko, and on the other side, for Karmine Corp, they do give a lot of attention to the side of Cabochard and Cinkrof. They want them two to be the ones that have the good matchups and they can be able to move around the map or win in their particular in their lanes. And this is going to be very interesting to see how this is going to end up, because we talked about Macko and they've been so close to winning games, particularly the first 3 games they played against all 3 different teams in their group. They looked like they could have won them. It looked like they could have won the one versus Karmine Corp as well, but a lot of things happen and, you know, you just lose it in the details. This is where I feel Macko is lacking compared to the big giants, Karmine Corp and Mouse Sports. So if you can leave in your Masters by having at least 1 win, and this being your out game, I guess, you'll take it.
Absolutely. And as I said, it was 4 games of very fine margins. We saw on the screen some replays from their 5th game where the margins were a little bit less fine, but Corp, as we see on the screen right now, they just came off the back of a massive win against Mouse Sports, and you've got to favor them in this matchup. They want to win here to keep the pressure on Giants going into that final game of the day, because they can force Giants into a position where they need to win in order to have a chance of tie-breaking for that top spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is going to be actually really fun to watch as well. If both teams go for, they're 4-1, they go 5-1 at the end, and they have to play tiebreaker or who's going to be first, it's going to be extremely entertaining because I feel like they're both extremely bloodthirsty. Is the Annie going to get banned, or is Karmine Corp ready to face it?
Okay, Karmine Corp, don't ban it. Don't ban it. You be confident in yourselves. Back yourselves. Of course, they have to ban Bushy Seraphine. It's too good. 3 deaths in 3 minutes.
I mean,
it phased them.
Yeah, no, I think he was 0-4 in 5 minutes. So that's like, is it? No, yeah.
It was a tough game. He was very focused. Oh, Corp. Come on.
No, I mean, this is very serious right here. You can't play. Sebekx's Annie has been banned out throughout the tournament. You can't necessarily, because you've qualified for quarterfinals, not banning out and having to play with it, because Sebekx is an unbelievably insane Annie player, and he will take the win if you give him the champion. So we talked about the seeding still being open and on the line, and Karmine Corp definitely want to grab the first place.
But I want to see Sebekx's Annie. So it's a loss for me, but Twisted Fate and Tristana take it off the table. There's a lot of really strong champions that haven't been touched in this ban phase. The Zhao, the Fresh, the Viego. There's so many options left on the table right now.
Yeah, but SAKEN has been like so insanely targeted here. The Twisted Fate, the LeBlanc, the Rise, all champions that he has previously played, and Sebekx is gonna lock in for the 3rd time in a row, I believe, with the Syndra.
Yeah, it's going to be the Syndra coming on through. Of course, he did have that Nasus game in the last game that we saw. Lucian also going to be making his way onto the side of Macko. Could be in the jungle, could be in the top lane. StenBosse and Cboi could both look to pick that one up. But it's going to be another matchup between Zhao and Lee.
That is one of the strongest sort of skirmishing duos that you can have in the mid-jungle scenario, unless the Lucian ends up in StenBosse's hands. And on the other side, you also have the Thresh available if you want to lock it in together with the Varus. It's extremely strong lane, and also you have the chance to bail out your ADC if xMatty oversteps. If he wants to push out a lane, he can with the Lantern. So that's available. Rakan is also up and available. They're going to lock in the Renekton to push most likely the Lucian out of a lane.
Of course, we could see the Syndra going into bot lane for Bushy. He's shown the Ziggs, he showed the Seraphine, of course, which has been banned away. So there is that flexibility option, but remains to be seen if it's going to be going into his hands. We'll have to see what Macko decide to grab, if they want something like that Fresh, which is such high priority, or if they want to go a different direction, it's going to be the Leona being locked in.
Oh, I love this right now because this is going to force xMatty to go for cleanse in his lane as well. And here you can prioritize banning champions for the sort of Macko, such as the Thresh, to take back onto a lot of the survivability that it gives to the immobile champions down the bot lane. And on the other side, for the sort of Karmine Corp, what do you ban? Because literally everyone plays everything at this stage. The Syndra, like you said, could end up bot lane. The Lucian could end up mid lane, could end up jungle, could end up top. I'd be surprised to see what's going to happen right here.
Is the Ezreal going to be taken off the table first and foremost from Bushy? Maybe they look to target something like the Kai'Sa that we know this guy is so proficient on. And the Aphelios, of course, hasn't been seen too much today, particularly, but it's a champion that has seen a lot of presence. With the Fresh off the table, it's slightly worse, but it can still get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. And right here, they want to make sure that there's not enough mobility down the bot lane for Bushy. Maybe they're even trying to force him to play that Syndra down bot. Now, I don't know how good that would be paired up with a Leona in a long lane where she can't necessarily protect you too much, but the Gangplank is going to be banned away. I'm thinking Gangplank, immobile carries, you've already locked in the Varus, possibly an Orianna for SAKEN, maybe a Victor?
Could be. Of course, we saw him on the Azir last game, so he could be looking to revive that one as well. But it's about Macko. Where do they want to take this counter pick? And more importantly, are they going to kind of reveal where stuff's going to be going? Are they going to take themselves a marksman to show that Syndra is going mid? They're not going to do that. They're going to take the Ornn, moving that Lucian most likely into the jungle.
Yeah, so StenBosse does play a lot of Ornn on the top side of the map. He's going to be the starting team fight, the start of team fights on the top lane, and of course you've got the Leona. So a lot of engage coming in. Now you need someone to all in together with Leona, together with Lucian, and together with Ornn. And who could that be? Could maybe potentially something like a Kai'Sa? Kai'Sa be coming along to mat the backline. Ooh, beautiful reply right there.
Yeah, it's going to be the Trundle and the Sylas being locked in. So Varus, Trundle going into that bot side.
I love this a lot because you can steal a lot of defenses away from the Leona. You can steal a lot of defenses later on from the Ornn, and that also means that you have to be a lot of careful if you're playing any mobile ADC down the bot lane or mage, whatever Bushy decides to play, because it's going to be really difficult to navigate around the pillars. And I'm assuming that this Lucian should technically go down bot, because if you do put the Syndra in the bot lane, this is a Varus Trundle lane. It's going to be extremely dangerous for the Syndra.
Let's see where Macko decide to put their components and what they want to be doing with their crazy machine that they've built for themselves. But over on the side of K-Corp, okay, Bushy's currently the one with the Syndra, but K-Corp, we know what they're going to be doing with their champions. I'm just running down the clock a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do.
Yeah, and I absolutely love the Sylas reply right here because we didn't talk a lot about it. We said that there's a lot of engage from the side of Macko. You've got the kick, you've got the Ornn ult, and you've got the Leona ult. So SAKEN can pick whichever one of these three to try and start a fight for his team together with the Syndra. You also have the pillars, you've got the chains of corruption as well. You've got so many tools that you can use to engage or disengage with. So I'm really digging the Karmine Corp composition right here. They've got really strong laners. They've got a really good bot lane as well with the Trundle. Trundle works so well into Syndra, mispositioning her, so immobile. But let's see.
We're on to the Rift for the 5th time this evening. K-Corp on the blue side, taking on Macko on the red. Remember, K-Corp already qualified, Macko already going home. Final game for both of these two teams in groups if there's no tiebreakers.
And let's see how dominant K-Corp can be here, right? Because they've already beat Macko. Macko in 0-5. Technically, on paper, K-Corp should be the one that's superior in this particular one. and they do seem to have a really, really, really good composition to be able to take this home.
This is a composition that's going to be able to take this one home early and quickly, because we saw that happen in the last game where Vodafone Giants went up against Macko. It was not done in the first couple of minutes, but it was in a very rough spot for the Italian team in the first couple. Corp not going to be doing that this time round, but can they take the tempo? Can they take the acceleration in those early steps?
I feel the key right here is Sebekx in the mid lane.
Okay.
Technically, Lucian is a lane bully in the mid lane. That's why it's been picked a lot, especially against melee champions. And Sylas is one of these melee champions that can be heavily punished because Lucian plays him from distance, and Lucian also pushes his wave in really quickly. What does that do? It unlocks Cboi to have priority in the mid lane. If you have priority in the mid lane, that means you can choose whichever side of the river you have more pressure in to try and go for that scuttle crab. We saw in the previous game, Karmine Corp used their triple lane priority to grab both scuttle crabs for themselves. Now, of course, when you have an Ornn weak side, you're not expecting to play towards that. This is why Cboi is going to start from top, abandon his Ornn on the top side, and play towards the bottom side of the map. And Cinkrof is going to do the exact opposite. He knows that his Renekton is going to have the push. He's going to play for him.
Just moving up to the top side, and could look to maybe get some work going in the bot lane. The classic little scrap that you get when you've got a Leona down there, just trying to put some autos, trying to put some CC, and xMatty actually in a little bit of trouble. Bushy going to be forced to back away as well. The snipe goes wide with the trophy pushing away, but flash going through from Targamas. He's level 2 though. The ignite is running. Click could be in trouble here. One more auto will be enough for first blood. It's xMatty picks it up.
Yeah, Click got right click right there from xMatty and ends up going down. I think Karmine Corp played this. If we could get a replay from that particular fight, you will see how well Karmine Corp play this fight. Why? Because there's 2 minions until level 2 for both Targamas and xMatty, and Targamas is hitting the minions like crazy, trying to get that level 2 while he's also pushing through the wave, tanking all the damage. But it doesn't matter because they end up getting the level 2 and they end up engaging, meaning they get the first cheap damage. And by the time Click is back into this fight, we're actually going to get, thank you so much, observers. Look at Targamas. He keeps hitting all these minions, and then he walks past knowing that xMatty is gonna give him the level 2 from that last minion, and they're gonna hit level 2 first. By that time the damage is done, he gets away from the Scatter the Weak, and the Leona is way too far from Bushy's Syndra. Bushy missed his spells, so again, really well played from the side of Karmine Corp, who's most likely gonna get punished, but they're gonna pull the TP.
Yeah, they're going to keep fighting, and Click now overextended, has no flash, is going to be in a massive amount of trouble. Cabo on the top already killed Bushy, and it's a 2-0. Cboi chased away Targamas. Does need to be a little bit careful, can't overextend too far, but it's just going to be easy as that for the LFLT.
Every single early game ends up being so disastrous for Macko. They've been read so well. They see that Bushy is tanking the wave. They know that Cboi must be there. He started top side. They know the whereabouts of Cboi. In this whole thing, Cinkrof didn't even have to participate in anything. He's 30 CS versus 16 of Cboi. It literally has been the laners of Corp, putting them 1,500 gold ahead 4 minutes into the game. Really well played from Cabochard right there with TP, and Karmine Corp were literally just baiting. The cleanse of xMatty is still up and available.
And I'll have a quick chat about these 2 mid laners before we get too far into this game. The Lucian and the Sylas coming on through. Actually, it looks like the bot lane is just chilling out right now. Targamas moving his way back on through. But because it's the last time we're going to get to talk about Sebekx in this tournament, the champ pool is pretty wild. You can see the comparison here. SAKEN has played, you know, pretty standard stuff. The Azir, the LeBlanc, the Twisted Fate. We also saw the Azir.
Oh, you won't get time to speak.
Today, but Bushy's not going to give me any opportunity. He's going to get caught out by the pillar as he's going to be forced away. No flash available. He gets sniped down. Click might be able to stumble out of this one, but it's just Corp. They won't let up.
I think Cinkrof should just go back to his jungle. I don't think he's needed this game. Just keep on farming, buddy. He went down there. He was even too late to get an assist at this point. I feel like Karmine Corp are like, just go back to your jungle and farm. You'll be useful later on. We got this for now. I think bot lane's as good as dead at this point from the side of Macko. They can't push through. I felt like putting the Syndra into the Trundle was a big boo-boo from them. I feel like Syndra would have possibly been much better in the mid lane, playing against the range versus melee into the Sylas, because the pillar is a really big problem for an immobile carry. And when you don't have a thresh to bail you out, even the possibility of putting a pillar up, pushing you onto a wall, and then the Q from xMatty hitting, that's way too much damage and it pushes you back in lane. And look at this, the lane is going to be frozen on the side of Karmine Corp, and Bushy has to overextend. No summers available, no flash on click either. They're missing on a lot of gold.
If you overextend on Bushy to try and get farm, there's a good chance you kind of just die. Because xMatty, very scary right now. Cboi's coming on through because he's Cinkrof on the left of your screen doing just the same. The Lucian's going to be the first one here. But I don't know if Macko can take this 3v3. Targamas is looking for the pillar. You can see it in his eyes. He's going to move forward. Cinkrof level 6. Teleport coming on through. It will be a 3v4 and the engage is actually going to come onto the Trundle. But Cinkrof is here. SAKEN is moving down. Targamas goes on. He's the first victim of the fight. Nice knock up from StenBosse, but he's not getting too much damage down onto the Zinzao. He's going to take it a bit lower. The Culling will actually secure the kill as the knockup comes through from the Ornn. StenBosse goes down. Sebekx forced to back away. SAKEN in the backline. Could look for a second on the Cboi. Won't be able to grab it. But the stun comes through from xMatty to pick up a kill and turn the fight on its head. It's a 2-for-1 at the end of play.
Whew. And look at the top side of the map. Not only Karmine Corp come out ahead in this trade, they will shove in the bot lane, which means that Matty doesn't lose anything. Cabochard has been proxying the wave, which means an entire wave is going to crash underneath the Ornn's tower, and StenBosse is not going to get anything. And that's a pretty good teleport pull right there. But Cboi is level 4 and Cinkrof is level 6. He can withstand so much damage. He's tanking 4 members of Macko, 5th one in now with Sebekx, and he ends up being alive because guess what? SAKEN is a really good Ornn as well as he is a really good Sylas, and xMatty at this point, we mentioned how far ahead he is in the bot lane. He's able to put down big damage.
xMatty pulling all the strings. Bow strings primarily, but teamfight strings as well. 4-0-3, 100% kill participation in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Wild.
That's because everything has been happening around the bot lane. Again, we have only had action in the bot lane. And who would have expected that? Because we mentioned at the start, Karmine Corp is a team that loves to play for the top side of the map. SAKEN, Cinkrof, mainly Cabochard, and usually xMatty just chills down the bot lane while Targamas roams. Well, that's not the case this time because they've put Syndra into a Trundle lane, so you definitely want to punish that very early on, and this is the case. Lost chapter for Bushy, a whole eclipse for xMatty.
Targamas just wants to shove in this way, but Cboi's in the wings, so is Cinkrof. Level 6 versus level 7 on the junglers right now, and Lucian just able to slide away from that trophy. The engage coming through from a click, but that might be an overextension. The Culling has to come out to disengage the fight. Cboi definitely doesn't want to follow through on that one, but can Macko actually make any plays at the moment?
The problem here is that Cboi needs to catch up because he's already a level behind. He's already a bunch of CS behind, but he cannot because he needs to be the one that initiates the plays for his team because his team can't do it themselves. They've fallen behind the bot lane, which means that the Varus can even lane alone versus a Leona Syndra because he has both his summons available and an ultimate allow the Trundle to roam. So Cboi needs to be there to try and make the plays. Like he is right now, he's gonna miss his Q. Now, if you look on the other side of the map, Cinkrof can just stay in his jungle. He's 12 CS ahead, he's taking the Rift Herald, he's gonna open up a tower possibly with that, and he will continue farming his jungle. There's no jungle left in Cboi's jungle. Just now his Gromp spawned together with the blue buff. Cinkrof has the entire top side of the map, and when he's done, we'll most likely see him running it down a lane and popping down the Rift Herald.
Oh, Cabo's getting the fight down onto StenBosse, who is full health, is not too far away from his tower, but is taking an absolute beating from the Renekton. Gonna be forced away from that one, but assistance is coming.
You don't fight an assassin slash mage slash bruiser slash marksman slash support just like that, Cabochard. You just can't. Oh, maybe you can with the Zinzao. Okay.
Yeah, Zinzao's gonna find, get the kill, force the TP out as well as Sebekx comes top just to clear up. A SAKEN is here, so dive 2.0 could be on the cards, but Sebekx also feels it and is backing away. Dragon was taken on the bot side by Macko though.
And that really feels bad, man, because Sebekx could have pushed in that wave while this is happening to make SAKEN lose some experience and gold in the mid lane by shoving in the wave and crashing underneath his tower, but he can't because he actually TP'd top lane and then he had to go back home to his base to reset and go back out. Of course, we mentioned how the Ornn was going to be the recipient of a lot of the aggression and abuse that's going to go down onto the Rift right now, and this is the case. I mean, 1v1, the Ornn is doing pretty fine versus the Renekton, but let's see. Try number 15, I've lost count for Macko.
Bushy's already pretty much dead. They're going to be giving it over to SAKEN on the side as Click does manage to get under tower. The ultimate has been stolen away though, so the Solar Flare is available.
It's such a rough matchup, man.
Click doesn't even have Solar Flare himself.
It's just such a hard matchup to play the Syndra into a Trundle Varus lane. It's just so freaking rough, and he's fallen so far behind. 4-0 and 4 for xMatty, a Corp Eclipse versus a Lost Shaft and a Blasting Wand. Then SAKEN is adding. We mentioned how SAKEN was going to add a lot to the engage, and right, you see it right there. Cboi steps in, Cboi goes to sleep.
There's just absolutely nowhere that this Lee Sin can go in the jungle right now. First death of the game, but just hasn't been able to exert his authority the same way that Cinkrof has. And the Zhao hasn't even been involved in all of the big plays. You can see he's got the Rift Shell in his pocket, still considering. And he's just going to find Click in the jungle alongside Targamas, who has that trophy available. Pillar can come up, but the Leona pretty tanky. Might have a way out, uses the Solar Flare, but she is here. Nice scan of the weak onto 2, and they might have overstepped. Targamas is going to have to go gold as Cinkrof goes over the wall, picks up 1 and ult to break up more. Going to go to Bushy, looking for a second, but the flash is perfect from Syndra, who will be able to get away. It's a 1-4 trade right now as Cboi gets called out 2-1. Sebekx forced the flash, the chains don't land. No apprehend available for the Sylas right now, but is stepping forward, trying to get as much damage as possible. Cabo over the wall goes Dominus and will go over, looking for the damage, looking for the Lucian. Will be able to find it alongside the Sylas and Corp. It's a rout.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with the emote right there that Sebekx is spamming the sad bee that's crying, because that should have been the one lane to go forth for the side of Macko, and unfortunately that Lucian never found any ground because that bot lane was just so dominant. xMatty might be in trouble right here, but the gold is gonna miss both.
Yeah, it's not going to hit either, but Bushy now in loads of trouble, gets stabbed by Cinkrof, and it's a simple 1-for-0 trade once again.
I see so many things being thrown at Karmine Corp and none of them hitting. It feels so sad. 10,000 gold almost for Karmine Corp. 13 minutes into the game. 13. I don't know if we can have production sort of tell us if that's true, but that must be the most gold lead we've had at 13 minutes, or very close to at least. This is absurd. It doesn't feel like actually Macko are even that far behind, but they are. 13 minutes, 10k almost. It's insane.
Wait, you're saying that it doesn't feel like they're that far behind?
It doesn't feel like they're that far behind.
The team fights? Like, it's been so easy for Corp just to man-to-man defeat everyone across the board in this game, and it's rough to say, but I can struggle to see how they're going to find their way back in. I don't like saying that about games where it's 14 minutes, the tower plates are just falling off. But what can Macko do in this situation to get themselves some gold back?
I think they're going to have to try to look for a pick, but xMatty is just catfishing them. He's looking very juicy, but he has his team right behind him to back him up. And Cabochard is coming in hot, baby.
Oh, he's not going to be able to get the collapse on.
He decided otherwise. Like, yeah, I don't fancy diving into 5 people. Let's not. Dragon's coming up, 25 seconds. Let's push our waves and just not throw.
SAKEN isn't even there. He's down in bot lane, picking up farm, picking up money, and it looks like this will be a decent fight. They go for it. Change corruption, go wide. Actually, Cinkrof onto Cboi. xMatty's going very, very deep, trying to get the last hold. And will be able to, but he trades himself with the tower as Cinkrof has to dive away. Click going low is pretty tanky, but the ignite will fall, and the Solar Flare picked up just before Leona is taken out. Once again, it's a good exchange for Corp.
Cboi is trying to make the plays happen. You mentioned what has to happen for Macko to potentially get close to Karmine Corp's gold, well, first things first, you need to start cashing in on these bounties, right? xMatty had one on him. Yeah, okay, you cash in on 500, 400 gold, however much the bounty was on him, but you lose mid lane tier 2. Who is going to step up when your entire jungle is warded? Wait a minute.
StenBosse. He's going to step up towards Cabo and...
1v2, assassin, marksman, support, mage, enchanter?
I don't know if Ornn is... Actually, Ornn's going to get one.
Yeah,
absolutely fine.
They're absolutely fine.
It's all the roles.
It's fine.
It's chill. Sebekx, on the other hand, actually doing a decent amount of damage to SAKEN across the board in these 1v1 situations. Macko, maybe you were right saying it doesn't look like they're as far behind as they are, but they do lose out on the Dragon.
I feel like SAKEN hasn't been back in a while because he only has his Everfrost purchased, and I think he must have a lot. Yeah, there you go. He has his boots. He has a lot more AP. He got a stopwatch himself. Now I don't think there's a chance that Sebekx could 1v1 him. Who even got that? Syndra got that?
They believe Bushy can grab that one, and now Cabo's trying to grab Bushy. Will be able to do so. Looking for Cboi, but he dives away. The Unleashed Power maybe keeping the Renekton a little bit far away. That Empowered Recall will save the life of Cboi. He's going to be able to get out of dodge, and something picked up at least for the Italian side, but they may well lose this top tower for it.
I think that was mostly denied from Karmine Corp, to be fair, because if they took this Shelly, they could very well just end the game with it. They are so strong. They have 2 items on xMatty. Bushy doesn't even have 1 item. He doesn't have 1 item, and there's 2 on xMatty right now. And let's see who actually got. Okay, it was Cboi. It was a Cboi smiting that, but then they paid with Bushy's life and Click's life. But Cboi ends up getting out due to the fast recall right there. And again, it's not set in stone that Macko can come back from the game, because quite frankly, I don't believe they can come back from the game. But one way you could believe that they somehow, in any way, shape or form, they could come back is by starting to collect bounties, starting to get picks onto the map. Renekton has one, Zhao has one, Sylas has one, and these 3 are the beefiest members on the side of Karmine Corp. So good luck taking any of these shutdowns. Click might get shut down himself here for the 7th time in a row.
Although they're going to be able to jump onto SAKEN, he's going to be able to get Everfrost down. Cboi gets the kick back, but he's only kicking into Cabo, and Cabo's happy to see his mid laner on top of him. The Lee's in a lot of trouble as the Renekton tries to chase forward, gets the stun, gets a lot of damage. Won't be able to find the click mode just yet. Looking for the decimate. There's the damage, there's the kill, as the snipe from xMatty secures another. And now it's going to be Ornn on the menu. Sebekx in the back as well. There's the ace. It's simple as that. And K-Corp, how much are they going to secure from this fight?
It's 17 minutes into the game and they have a 14,000 gold lead. We said, moving into this game, we want to see a dominant Karmine Corp. They're going against a PG Nuts team that is 0-5. On paper, Karmine Corp should absolutely stomp them, and oh boy, are they doing just that. It's actually really sad to see Macko go out of European Masters with such a game.
Game's not over yet. The Nexus still stands, but once again, it's just so easy. Look at how strong some of these members are.
Yeah, there's no point right there. I mean, again, Macko are trying to find some picks onto the map. The only 3 members with bounties, if you want to cash in on some of the 3 beefiest members from the side of Karmine Corp. And when it comes to a complete 5v5, that pillar was so filthy by Targamas right there, locking in 4 members behind it, unable to move. Karmine Corp are just running them down, slapping them with the wallets right there.
It's hurling money at high velocity towards the PG Nat representatives, and they do not have money themselves to defend. Just look at the item discrepancies across the board. Sylas, 2 items already, boots and a Fiendish Codex as well. Lucian only 1 boots and a half. They just can't win fights. They have to try and look for picks, but A, K-Corp aren't giving the option, and B, are picks even an option for them at this point?
They would have to find isolated targets, but no one's isolated.
No one's isolated. Sebekx might be isolated from his health bar. 1 more auto secures for xMatty. StenBosse is cut off from the rest of his team. It's a double kill to the Varus. Cabo just keeping Bushy and Click away. Cboi no interested in fighting Cinkrof in the 1v1. Even on the tower, going to be dropping the Rift Herald for a little bit of assistance and kicking away over the wall, looking towards xMatty, who's got a reasonably low health bar and trying to get the assassination. But Cboi just going to be taken out. xMatty is unstoppable. Unofficial triple as Click goes in to try and defend. I don't think he can though. It's another ace in the base of Macko, and you know what? This might be one of the fastest games we've ever seen in the European Masters.
Pretty sure the fastest one was 21 minutes 12, 21:13. I don't think this is quite going to be the game. It might just take 2 inhibitors right here, maybe 3 inhibitors. xMatty in a lot of trouble. He has to flash away. Might be the bounty going down. No!
He's still alive! The Chains of Corruption go wide, but a solar flare doesn't, and the godlike Cabochard picks up the Lucian. StenBosse gonna be chased away, but this time, Clemency is on the map, and he will survive with a small health bar. xMatty takes the inhibitor. They're trying to break open. It might not be the record, but they're gonna cut it pretty damn close.
Bushy
with the assassination. Now he needs to stand back as the rest of the team is defending under towers. Cboi dives on through, but Cabo is not interested. The first Nexus tower crumbles, but Corp might have been chased away. SAKEN not so convinced though. He goes in. Bushy is still not able to return to his base. Targamas is playing bouncer, has the pillar available if he needs it, and is keeping Syndra away. The re-engage onto Lucian. He dies once again. StenBosse gets the charge forward, but so does Sylas. The kick is available now, and he's going to kick the face of Cboi, who's going to return it. Bushy is back, but is he back to his death? Yes, he is. As the Sylas dives forward, Corp look towards Cboi. They look towards Click. SAKEN doesn't want to end. He wants more kills. Cinkrof there as well.
No, they don't know.
Solar Flare will land.
They don't know.
Zinda's here, but the damage is coming through. Click is stumbling. Will he go down? Yes, he will. Cboi dives away. Corp. Targamas is just in the base still, but Cinkrof wants one more. He wants to send the PG Nats home with another death. Won't be able to do it. 22 minutes dead. Corp grab the win.
Whew. We wanted dominant.
We did.
This game ended with 19,000 goal difference between these two teams. 14,000 gold difference 15 minutes in, and ended with 19K between the two. That was a Goomba stomp, if I've ever seen one, Will.
It was a massively dominant performance. It's a very rough way for the PG Nats to end. Their tournament has been so rough just because of seeding and play-ins for Outplayed. And then the group that they found themselves in, the group stages, and the way that they were so close so often. But today it just didn't look the same at all. We're going to go for a full post-mortem as we say goodbye to the PG Nats teams and congratulate Corp for their astonishing victory. We're going to do that in a couple of minutes, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you after the break.
He's going to flash in, and he steals the bomb! How did that connect by Edgeway? Fini! As EU Masters Champions!
welcome back to the Amazon European Masters. I'm still Viperoon, still joined by Troubleinc, and Game 5.
Yes.
Corp have set the bar for Giants, and they did so in a very, very decisive fashion.
If there was a very, very convincing fashion, I think that would be it. I think they were like close, if not record-breaking, very close to record-breaking gold leads in this game from Karmine Corp, and they played towards the side we didn't expect them to play. That bot side of the map snowballed out of control, and I believe it might have been a slight mistake from the side of Macko to transition that Syndra from the mid lane to the bot lane. They had their chance to pick a marksman or a different type of champion to go towards the bot side of the map because the Trundle was locked before that, right? So they knew that the Trundle was going bot lane. Syndra is extremely hard to play into a Trundle. One pillar forces your flash, another pillar forces your death. So it wasn't very easy for Bushy to play. I think Bushy has really suffered in the last 3 games, and the 3 games they played today particularly. It's really hard to watch, and I'm not going to stand too much on Karmine Corp because they've made it through. They showed how strong they can be already in this tournament. I want to sit a little bit on Macko because we talked a little bit about it on the break. The first 3 games that Macko played in their group, they were so close to beating Giants, Karmine Corp, Mousesports. All 3 of them, they were so close to beating them. And then only details is what differentiated a victory from a defeat. But when the EU Masters and the ERLs have such a high ceiling of how a game needs to particularly be played out, and we see the details coming in from Karmine Corp, we see the details coming in from Giants. If you're not up to par to these standards and you fall slightly short, these teams are just going to snatch away a victory.
Absolutely, and as you said to me, I was like, did the PGNat team deserve a win? You were like, if you don't destroy a Nexus, you don't deserve to win. So they're going home empty-handed after the break. Huge matchup. Vodafone Giants will be trying to stamp themselves an opportunity for a tiebreaker. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few minutes.
He's gonna flash in, and he steals the farm. How does that connect by Edgeway?
As EU Masters champions,